Gravity-free is a very succinct conference.
Gravity-free is out of this world.
Gravity-free is interplanetary.
Gravity-free is focused and fearless.
It's lumpy, and that's good. Like somebody's head with lots of ideas in it.
So I love this kind of notion of coming up with a very provocative theme every year. And this year is particularly called Dangerous Minds. It's fantastic because dangerous minds can go two ways. You're walking a fine line. You're walking a fine line of being a real kind of interrupter of social life, or at the same time, you're actually contributing somehow.
Dangerous Minds, for those of you who are saying, well, what the hell does that mean? What it really means is it's about designers who are so committed to their vision of the world that they draw a line in the sand and are unwilling to step over it for anything, for any reason. That's the point at which they change our view of the world. And that makes them dangerous. And you'll see for the next 2.5 days some amazing examples of that. The whole idea is to get a whole bunch of people, a whole bunch of designers from diverse disciplines, put them together and see the sort of magic that happens when you cross-fertilize ideas. The end goal, if there is one, is for all of you to walk out of here more inspired than when you walked in.
I realized site built is so broken in so many ways. For people to still think that the most wonderful way to build a home is to build it site built. It's sort of like asking your car to be built in your driveway for you. It doesn't really make any sense.
When fear arrives, I still have to talk myself over and above it every single time. This is having, it's the same thing, shot from the front, shot from the side, guts, always. Caution tape works out. 4 with the light on. Me.
There's a value in having something in the present that just because something isn't, again, one size fits all and distributed all over, has the appeal to absolutely everything and everyone. That's okay, and that's about being specific, and that's about having a particular experience and a particular signature, and if it lives on, it's great, but it is enough to live in the present and to do things that that just resonate for the moment.
Bob Dylan said that he not busy being born is busy dying. I believe if you're not learning, changing, and adapting, in other words, living in the present, then you're wasting your life. Thank you.
With it being a multidisciplinary design and bringing in people from a whole bunch of different disciplines, I think that's a lot more impactful, a lot more inspirational, really, than for all the designers that are here.
Gravity-free is thought-provoking because there, first of all, is a diversity of people who are here, a lot of different points of view, and also a lot of opportunities to talk after the presentations and around the presentations, a lot of structured opportunities together.
Then at the end of the day, I think we mentioned we're going to have the speaker roundtables. That's probably the most fun of the entire event because you actually get to sit down and babble with anybody you want, any of the speakers, and some of the advisors about whatever.
Because it's so small, you don't feel like quite such like a small insect in a large pack. Everybody's a lot more friendly. I think they're a lot more open.
I came here because I was actually invited by a colleague and a friend who was here last year, and so she was just wowed by the amount of interaction and innovative thinking that was happening here. And so I thought, you know what, I'm going to attend, see what it's all about.
I'm looking for inspirations.
And I'm really here just for kind of hearing the good ideas.
Try to pick up on some of the energy that's coming off the stage.
So imagine you're here in Chicago and your best friend is in Tokyo and you want to send her a hug. You put on the hug shirt, you give yourself a squeeze, and sensors in the fabric capture how strong you're squeezing, where you're touching, for how long. All this data goes Bluetooth into your cell phone and is transformed into a hug message.
We do a lot of, let's say, little things for companies, which again don't take more than 1 or 2 days to design. So, and for me, it's quite a dream as a designer that I would every day want to make new things. So if I can make this or this or this or this in just 1 day and just keep on moving ahead, and that's pretty much for me the dream come true.
This is a typical expression of what transit authorities like to do. They like to put 5 pounds into a 1 pound bag. So we started to design until everything falls in the right place.
What we've discovered is that there's a sort of really workable structure to the way presenters sort of do this best. And we do it in short segments. So we're going to have 3 speakers. They'll each speak roughly 20 minutes. And then they will come back and we'll do a Q&A.
There's 2 things over the years that I have learned that have helped me to become a better graphic designer. The first is teach yourself how to write. Writing is very important. It is designing with words. The other thing that I encourage them to do is to learn how to do crossword puzzles. Why? Because this is taking language to the next level. It is the language of language.
So you start with some assumptions, and some priorities, and that discipline comes throughout the whole design. And it shows once again that when you have a discipline, you don't have to look for beauty. It comes out by the clarity of the information itself.
Because I think every object and everything and every part of the physical world that we shape, we need to kind of take some responsibility in. And for me, a great inspiration is not just issues kind of, in a sense, I could argue banal issues of things like sustainability. For me, inspiration is everything. It's kind of the human existence. It's about the world we live in now. We look at the world we live in now, and we turn around and say, well, what can we do? How can I contribute? How can I make it better? How can I make it more beautiful? How can I make it more emotional? How can I make it more poetic? How can I make it more romantic? How can I make a contemporary world?
What is the future of graphic design in a way that it can make a relevant difference for the world?
Well, that's easy.
I can take it.
Can I just jump in there for 1 second? Part of his question is this whole issue of design being socially relevant. And I'm wondering if you agree with that concept.
Frankly, my answer is yes, if that is your job. My job is to get people to read. I think that's socially relevant.
Hearing all the different perspectives from all the, different types of designers that they've had here, I think has been really interesting.
We're headed to the James Hotel for a reception.
Gravity has always been free. Nobody has to pay for it, and I think that that's fantastic. I think that that's beautiful. And, as soon as they start charging us for gravity, we need to rise up.
Gravity Free is such a thought-provoking event because there's just so many ideas that I didn't even know about, and learned so much in such a short period of time from people who are passionate about what they do.
Gravity Free is electric.
Enlightening, inspiring, or I'll stick with inspiring.
It's always hard to know what you take away from something like this. It starts your brain churning. It brings up new thoughts and new ideas. But in my experience, it occurs months later. You're working on a problem and suddenly two things come together and you suddenly think, wow, it's very cool.
I think one of the most important things that I think I've learned at this conference is we've seen so many designers and so many creative professionals and engineers, and I've had an opportunity to just talk to some incredibly just amazing just individuals, just regardless of what their profession was, who are just very fearless in their work. And I think for me as a professional, this intimidation factor that we all tend to work with in our industry, whether it's technical limitations or our own limitations in terms of our depth of knowledge for what we do as a living, it's just something I think I'll be able to take this sort of this sense of fearlessness back into my position. And I think that's something that's just going to be incredibly empowering, not just from a professional level, but also on a personal level as well too. So.
It's been impressive, absolutely, and invigorating.
It's been incredible. The juxtaposition of all these different characters coming together has been quite inspiring.
If there's one bit of inspiration or creativity that you're taking back with you that made it worthwhile, can you give me a sense of what that might be?
Sure. It's definitely to follow your passions, to believe in what you have inside of you and pursue that dream.